We begin with breaking news. A Green Line train has derailed in Cambridge. These are photos from a passenger. Now, we know some people on board were hurt. Their injuries are believed to be non-life-threatening. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jason Monahan.
And I'm Corey Smith. Let's go ahead and take a bird's eye view from Sky Ranger of all the damage this caused. It happened around 5 o'clock this evening. As you see there, it appears the train just simply jumped the tracks near the Lechmere station. And we should also point out that this is an elevated section of the Green Line. As you see, we have live team coverage for you tonight. We're going to start with NBC 10's Jericho Tran. Jericho?
Well, right now I can tell you we know what happened. We just don't know why it happened. The MBTA says that the front wheels on the lead trolley came off of the track, causing the train to derail. 6 people were injured. Another 7 were taken to nearby hospitals. That train is right above my shoulder right there. You can see crews are still working to try and get that off the track. But I want to get straight out to that Sky Ranger video that caught the scene here on the Red Bridge where the Green Line trolley derailed. That was around 5 p.m. I spoke with about one of the 50 passengers inside the train. He didn't want to be on camera, but he tells me that the train was heading toward Union Square. The passenger says the train jolted once it reached the switch between Union Square and Medford Tufts. They say the train jolted forward and then backward before the car came completely off the track. He tells me he saw a woman tossed across the car and scrape her arm. Passengers stayed inside the train for about 5 minutes before police and MBTA officials opened the emergency doors, allowing passengers to walk down the tracks to the Lechmere station. Now, the MBTA has released a statement, and they say they sincerely apologize to riders for the frustration and distress this incident has caused. They say they are thoroughly investigating the matter to ensure this does not happen again. I spoke to a man who works below those tracks. Like Corey pointed out, those tracks are above ground. So we spoke to someone who works below those tracks, and he heard the derailment. This is what he had to say.
I heard like not an explosion, but a really loud crash. So I rushed because I thought somebody got hit in the crossing by the bike path. So I rushed to see, and I just saw people coming down on the train.
What did they say to you?
They say the train hit something like a pole or a electrical box, and then it derailed, and that was it.
And right now you're taking another live look at that train still derailed off of those tracks. You can see flashlights every now and then coming off of that train. So we know that crews are still working to try and get this car back on the tracks and try and clean this all up. Once again, the MBTA says the reason why this happened is still under investigation. In Cambridge, Jericho Tran, NBC 10 Boston.
Okay, Jericho, thank you. All of this, of course, started in the middle of the busy evening commute.
Yeah, so our team coverage continues with Michael Rosenfield. Michael, this is a real problem for riders up and down the Green Line tonight and maybe possibly in tomorrow. What do you know?
Yeah, Corey, tough night for passengers on part of the Green Line this evening because of that derailment. Shuttle buses now being brought in to help deal with this situation. And you can see behind me some of those shuttle buses right here at the Lechmere station. This is one of those stops now closed on the Green Line extension and those trains for the time being. Shuttles will take people up to Union Square and to Medford Tufts. The T has not said how long the shuttles will be in place for. The derailed train has to be derailed, and any damage to the tracks has to be assessed before we can get back to business. Here's one of the many commuters tonight just trying to figure out how to get home.
I had no idea it was derailed. I had to look it up on my phone, and tried to find the bus stop. Was with some other girls. We also couldn't figure out where it was, so I ended up just having to call an Uber because the signs are also saying the buses are going to take an hour to get here. So yeah, it's unfortunate.
Frustrating?
Very frustrating because it's getting cold. I would like to go home and be inside.
So indeed, a little bit of a confusing evening for passengers on the Green Line extension because of this derailment. And right now, we just don't know when this section of the Green Line will be back up and running, whether that will be tonight or perhaps not until the morning rush. We're live in Cambridge. Michael Rosenfield, NBC 10 Boston.
All right, Michael, thank you.